Hi there, welcome back to Leeds Lobby. We're just going to do our post-match reaction for the Villa game. Obviously there's been quite a lot of things happen. I think we've seen in the first half, certainly we've seen what I think may well be Jesse Marsh's starting 11, albeit it hasn't got Sirius Sinisterra in it. It's still trying out various players. We're going to talk a little bit about what we thought about the match tactically, and also about that horror tackle. I think it's a horror tackle anyway, on Archie Gray. But before we get into it, please hit the subscribe button and also comment, like. It helps us get up the algorithm on YouTube and get us views. And let's get into it. So what did you think? What were your overall impressions of the game?
I thought we were decent, because we lacked it going forward. But I think other than we defended really well, we've not defended like that all of last season really. We defended quite well. Not all of last season, this game we defended really well. All of last season we were defending poorly. But we defended, good.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that did strike out with our defensive play, one thing that sort of stood out to me was the way in which we seemed to defend from corners and free kicks. We didn't look anywhere near as shabby as we were last year. We looked a lot more confident. We looked like we got an aerial presence. We seemed to know what we were doing when we were defending those. We weren't leaving players unattended. So that's an encouragement, because we leaked so many goals from free kicks and set pieces last year. It was a real weak area for us. What did you think about the new signings?
I thought all of them were pretty decent. Jarby obviously did come on, but I think that Rocker was the second best player for me. You've got to give the best player to Melier. I mean, that double save he made was absolutely phenomenal. And the other save that he made, where he just tipped it over, was brilliant. He looked. I think that'll give him the confidence boost that he needs. That'll give him a good confidence boost, because he is very much a confidence player. But the new signings were good. Sinisterra needed to do more for me. He didn't look at his best that I have seen him play with Feyenoord.
What about Aronson? What about Adams?
Adams was good. I thought that with his passing he lacked it a bit. But obviously, Adam's job is to win the challenge and then play it sideways to Rocker, really. Rocker was really good, as I've said, and Aronson was, I thought Aronson was at his best. He was much better than when we played Brisbane last week.
For me, what I saw with Tyler Adams that really encouraged me was the way in which we won the ball back. And we won the ball back earlier, and we won the ball back in advanced positions. So whereas previously what we would do is we would, for example, when the opposition got the ball, we would look to reset our lines, and we would look to try and form a bank of four at the back, and then obviously whatever kind of midfield we had, we would look to sort of withdraw and allow the players to come onto us. Whereas in this particular system, it seems that Marsh, almost like fish going in for bait, we seem to go straight in and press immediately en masse. And what I like about that is that we were winning the ball back really, really early in many cases, and Tyler Adams was instrumental in that, I found.
Yeah.
As was Rocker. Really good tackler. We were just picking up scraps a lot of the time. But what's happening is rather than then playing the ball across the back and playing the ball back to the keeper and allowing our opposition to reset their two banks of four, or whatever it may be that is their defensive lineup, their defensive transition, what we were doing is we're straight away looking to pass the ball, looking to go forward towards the goal, and looking to turn that into an opportunity to score. And I really, really, really like the look of that, because I think that from our point of view, we're catching a team unbalanced, having just lost the ball, and we're catching them before they have a chance to have a transition back into a defensive transition. Why are you pulling funny faces? Who are you pulling funny faces?
Lily.
Well, that's really strange, because you look like you're gooning. Like, them people who used to goon with no teeth, and used to like pull the bottom lip up over the forehead. It's that gurning is what it was called, gurning competitions. So I found that really interesting. I liked it. I do think we were exposed at the back. In terms of a defensive transition, I think that at times we seem to be exposed. Leif Davis didn't do such a good job today for me. I wasn't overly impressed with him.
And the penalty as well. Put his hands up in his face. I get he was protecting his face, but really he's begging for a penalty.
I mean, that he didn't have a lot of time to move his hands, and it was ball time. Now I know the rule in terms of defensive players in their own penalty area. Sorry about the sound quality here. I mean, obviously we're making announcements. We're just in the airport at the minute, but I do wonder if we'd have been in the Premier League with VAR, whether that would have been a penalty or not. And I think it's one of those that's kind of touch and go. Don't mind it so much because it's a friendly, but for me, you know, we've lost a game against Villa, and that was a strong Villa side. That was not a pre-season trying out the under-23s Villa side. That was a full Villa side.
They started with Ollie Watkins. They brought on Diego Carlos, who's a world-class centre-back for me. They started with Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey's is okay, but they had quite a good side. They obviously had Boubacar Kamara and Douglas Luiz in the midfield, and they seemed to have quite a strong side, and so did we, to be fair.
But I tell you what, I'll be straight with you. I'm struggling to do this video. I'm struggling to do this video because we just sat and watched. For me, was one of the best 90 minutes of football I've seen Leeds had. We've played really, really well until that meathead has come in and tried to snap our 16-year-old prodigy in half. He's come in and tackled Archie Gray there, and I don't care about the tackle that Archie Gray, without malice, did on the opposing player a couple of minutes before. But guys, I'm just devastated for that kid right now.
Could have ruined his career. To
be 16 years old and on the verge of the first team, and as good as he is, and having every right to be where he is now, and flying out to Australia with the first team, and what a future he's got ahead of him. And then that meathead comes in and just basically tries to snap his legs. And you know what? I'm furious. I'm absolutely. I'm furious.
I don't know why he would do that. Really.
I'm so cross. It's a friendly. The refereeing in that game was absolutely shocking. You'd probably give a referee 2 out of 10 for that game.
He blew the whistle early and then realised that there was still added time left. So then he blew again and gave us a drop ball.
What on earth are we doing? Sending our players all the way to the other side of the earth, all the way to the other side of the world to play in Australia in that heat. Again, it's a good preparation from that point of view, in the sense that they're going to come back and play more in a decent climate. Why are we playing a team that want to come out and do us damage and cause us injuries before the game even starts? We're risking Bamford, who's injury prone at best of times, and we bring a 16-year-old on to blood him, and we have like a Scottish international who really shouldn't be playing football. That's GBH. Anywhere else, any other football pitch, that's GBH. He'd have got beaten up if he'd have been playing Sunday League for that tackle on a 16-year-old kid. And I can't understand why we do that, and we risk that when the refereeing is so poor, bearing in mind the referee is there partially to protect the safety of the players. I'm very, very disappointed. I haven't seen Marsh's post-match interview, but I dare say he's going to be furious, probably rightly so. But apart from that, we didn't see Giarbi. I was looking forward to seeing Giarbi. We didn't see too much of Sinisterra, because I think he did have 30 minutes at the end.
Yeah, I think he came on at half time really.
Again, not overly impressed with him. What about Harrison?
Harrison was good. Obviously in his post-match interview he's given away some big stuff where he's been asked if he's leaving and he said we'll see what happens. Personally, I think that he's in contract talks with Leeds and he just doesn't want to show his hand. He wants to get the best offer possible. If he says, yeah, I want to stay, then they know that they're not going to have to offer him as much wage. You get what I mean? I think that he's just trying he's trying to keep he's trying to not show his hand, really.
See, we've not talked about this, but I saw that post-match interview with Harrison and thought, maybe he is going. But what you've just said makes an awful lot of sense. Why would you say, no, I'm definitely staying if you're in contract talks? Obviously, he's going to want to get paid as much as he possibly can. Yeah. But I would be personally very, very disappointed if he left the club. But now we have a situation where Archie Gray is now out for some time. It may well be that he's out for 3 or 4 months. He might be out for 6. We saw a really bad, unfortunate tackle of Strauch on that Liverpool player. Who was the Liverpool player?
Harvey Elliott.
And he's only a young lad as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's only 17.
And we saw how quickly he's come back, and they do fix very, very quickly at that age. So hopefully, Archie, I don't think you'll be watching this, but if you do watch this, mate, just will wish you all the best. Get your son back in that side, lad. Get your son sorted. Let's have you back in that first team, because we're big fans of you. We think you've done. You're going to be a world beater. We're really looking forward to what you're going to do at Leeds United. But yeah, so apart from that, Harrison, we hope he stays. We don't really want him to go. We still look like we're in for Charles de Ketelaere. We've not really announced that we're withdrawing from that yet. It may well be that there's a waiting game going on there, and that Milan are waiting for us to back off to be able to lower the price. It may well be that that's what ends up happening. We stay in there. The longer we stay in there, the less likely it looks like he's coming to Leeds personally. Callum Wendo, is that a done deal yet?
Not yet. Fabrizio's still not said anything, but I think that we have
to wait for Fabrizio nowadays.
The word around the street is that we have paid 25 million, which is the asking price. So
we're now in a world where somebody announces it on Twitter who's not linked to either club.
Fabrizio knows where the player's going before the player even knows where he's going. Let's be real.
Yeah, I do think Leeds now need to crack on and sign a left back who's a good left back. I don't think Liam Davis personally is adequate cover for that. As far as the striker is concerned, we obviously need a striker as well. Our plane is about to take off, so we're going to wrap this video up. But please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we will look forward to having a chat to you when we get back into the UK.
See you next time.